Hey, welcome to an episode of A Conversation at Calabash. And join us for the next one. Cheers. Hey, what up? Welcome to another episode of Conversations at Calabash. And today we have a wine professional. Normally we do winemakers, but this time we're doing a wine professional, one at the top of her game. I can't wait to get into her story. But before we do, I just want to kind of let you know why we're doing this. We're on location at Calabash Restaurant. And the thing is, we want to feature people who don't get a chance to really, in my opinion, have the platform to be showcased as much as they should be. And so that's what this is here for. This is for them to come in here and tell us about their wine stories and how they broke into the industry. And hopefully people who are watching who think there's no way to get into the industry will listen to some of these stories and be able to like maybe piggyback or like learn the blueprint in order to get into this industry themselves. And so I can't wait to get into this with you guys with Fern today. Fern, actually, really quickly, just introduce yourself, let them know who you are, and then I will get into like the conversation piece of this.
So I'm good. I'm Fern A Stroud with Black Vines, a toast of Black wine and music and diverse art. Been in this game now a couple of years, and it's been a beautiful journey. Can't wait to see what happens next, but super excited about the conversations at Calabash, what Dayton is doing here with the restaurant, the wine bar we'll talk more about. But thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. I can't wait to get into this with you guys. You guys don't understand how much of a treat this is to have Fern here. Fern is very busy. She's a boss, just so you know. And she really is. Like if you mention her name in the wine industry in Northern California, they know, especially in the Bay Area, they know who she is. She runs things. And speaking of that, so I've known you for a number of years now, and I've known you. In my opinion, you've kind of been at the top of the mountain for me. Like you've been one person that people aspire to try to be because of the amount of connections you have within this industry. You know, the amount of people that you've put on in this industry, the amount of people that you've been able to, mentor in this industry. And so with that being said, for you, how was it that you got into this industry?
Wow. I got into this industry because of my love of Black folks. Like, we want to do something different to celebrate Black history, where we can focus on the future of Black history and for the people that are making history in this space. And so we had the wine kind of like a second thought. It was at first just jazz and art, and what goes well with jazz and art is wine.
Of course.
And so, my kind of footing in this space was literally rooted in how do we kind of build community, celebrate community, and just do something different where we can be regal in the space, provide a space for folks to have an unpretentious luxury experience.
Exactly.
And learn wine and learn about Black folks that are doing amazing things.
So with that being said, so I get that. That's amazing. That's the idea of like what we want to see going forward. But how did you like, as far as getting into the program, were you working for someone? Did you intern somewhere else? Or did you say, I'm in the program, I'm in wine industry and y'all gonna have to deal with me? Can you get the door in a little bit?
Dayton, the first 5 years, I didn't know I was in the wine industry.
Oh, for real?
I promise you. I was just doing an event as far as I was concerned. It wasn't until my mentor, Melody Fuller, who's been in the wine space 30 plus years, kind of pulled my coattail and let me know not only was I in the industry, we had the longest standing wine festival in Oakland.
That's how I found out about you.
And and then of course there were folks that were doing Black wine event. However, we were the longest standing consistent Black wine event in the country. And so again, I had no idea I was in this space. So it wasn't until probably year 5 I started taking it a lot more serious.
Okay.
I started learning, taking journeys into wine. And then
That's always the fun part.
I mean,
he's sitting there going to all these tasting rooms and stuff and traveling. California is a great place to learn it too, because you have all these different regions of wine everywhere. I mean, you could throw a rock and hit a wine region.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, and each AVA provides its own
Stories. Yeah.
You know, and then learning those stories of wine, and then like how the same grape and the same terroir can have a completely different profile depending on the person behind that wine.
Yeah.
And then learning like the influences of the soil versus the way that the fall goes in.
Yeah. Such cool stuff.
Like,
yeah,
we have high mountains and sea level in this same like
area.
Graphic.
California is special that way.
It's you can have these warm climates, these cold climates, all in one. And so as you continue to like peel back the layers of the onion of this wine space, it just gets more and more amazing.
Yeah.
Hit come COVID, when the pandemic hit,
yeah,
I went and volunteered at Bay Grape.
Yeah.
It really got my wine chops up.
I love Bay Grapes. They're also a staple in Oakland. They've been doing they're like a wine bar that it's just been like kind of at the forefront of a lot of like natural winemaking and other stuff too, but they just know their stuff. They're just a staple out in Oakland when it comes to wine.
I mean, two wine professionals, Stevie and Josiah, both in their own right, super talented in the wine space.
Definitely.
And so in exchange for my volunteer time, I was getting one-on-one coaching, like wine tasting and stuff. Because, you know, as you continue to like grow in this space, you learn that a lot of the potential comes from the people in the middle.
Yes.
Not the people growing the grapes and not the people at the highest level of selling the grapes.
It really, honestly, I'll be honest with you. I think it's our fault. A lot of it has to do with sometimes these psalms that come in with kind of snooty and nose in the air about how wine should be enjoyed. And although I'm a psalm and I went through I did all that stuff, I've never looked at wine like that. Yeah. I've looked at it, like I said, that's why I wrote the book, Fruit and Glass, because it's like I wanted everybody to understand that this is basic. It's just fruit and glass that to be enjoyed. It's a beverage.
Yep.
And so I've always wanted to make sure that everybody understood that, and we could take the pretension out of this and just enjoy some shit together, along with some amazing food, and have great conversation over like an amazing bottle of wine.
So, totally. It is a psalm thing, and
I know you didn't want to say that. I appreciate that, but I know what it is.
A psalm like that because it's all love. But at the end of the day, the people who are growing these grapes and the people who are making these wines, they want everybody to taste the wine.
That's true.
And they want to hear your individual take on it because every person's palate is different.
That's true.
And so, I started being in those spaces with some of those folks who try to toot their nose up or whatever.
Those folks is crazy to me.
And that's when I was like, well, let me learn their language too.
Yeah, of course. That's another reason why I wrote the book, because I want everybody to understand the terminology.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's just like tech.
It is.
The reason why people put so much money in tech is not because of what they know, it's because of what you don't.
That's real.
So when somebody has that upper hand on you and has information that's not readily available, once you open up that Pandora's box, now you can speak their language. It completely knocks down those barriers.
It does. It makes everything level. Yep. So now we're talking as peers as opposed to like I have to beg you just to understand what's going on.
Yep.
That's exactly how I look at the industry that way. We don't have enough of us in it, and because we're all trying to knock down these doors, I think the more of us that do, the more it's going to open it up, and people who are outside the industry looking in are going to be like, hey, it's not that hard. You know, I want to check this out. I want to have a nice little rosé with my fish or whatever. I didn't know I could before, but now I know, after talking to y'all. Before we get into the next question, though, speaking of rosé, let's talk about this wine here. Today, what we're sipping on is the Indigene Cellars, the rosé of Pinot Noir. I hope you guys can see that. They're one of our partners here. We definitely have their wines. Also does a really, really awesome Syrah. Amazing Syrah. But we're talking about the Pinot Noir. You want to taste this with me, or you want to at least like smell it and go over it with me? I know you're not really.
I'm smelling and go over it, and then
you're not really drinking right now.
We can talk about that too. Why I'm drinking.
Hey, what's going on? Okay. It's good to see you. All right. No, you can order here. Give me 1 second. On the nose. Anything on the nose that you're getting?
I don't want to be super basic.
No, it's not basic.
What I really like is that creamy finish. Like that what is it? Almost like not a vanilla, almost some kind of
Like a creme. Yeah, like a vanilla. Yeah. So I get like. Speaking of that, I kind of get the strawberries and cream
For
thing
sure,
going right now.
for sure.
So it's like this kind of creme fresh and strawberries here.
Very bright. So
It
you
is.
also get like the brighter tree fruits. You get a little hint of like pear.
Yeah,
Like a super
I
like
love the pear.
uh underripe pear.
Yeah. There's also like a little bit of a nectarine thing going on here too as a secondary, which I'm digging, and a little bit of like a sea salt as a secondary too. There's like a kind of a saline thing that I'm really enjoying. I'm wondering if the grapes that he's growing here are they close to water? Because a lot of times I get that kind of a salty thing on the nose when it's close to like being like around oceans and stuff like that.
It's so interesting that you said that because this Pinot
Mhm.
is Carmel Valley.
Oh yeah, so it is coming out of it is close to water. The sea, yeah.
Influence.
I catch it on the nose and I'm like, okay, I know it's close to some water somehow.
Yep,
So,
yep. And that's his estate vineyard. And so a little bit about Indigenous Settlers. Indigenous Settlers is Raymond Smith.
mhm.
Raymond Smith is from East Oakland, California, Sabrani Park.
Let's go.
Born and raised out here, Oakland guy who went to Paso to kind of flex his journalism chops. He got a degree in journalism, went down there for journalism work, ended up in a winery,
Uh,
and it's been 30 years later.
and now he's stuck. He loves it.
He's been doing this wine thing from bottling to winemaking to everything in between. And so he has a tasting room in Paso Robles. Is a phenomenal winemaker.
Okay.
Is heavily influenced by he had a mobile bottling company.
Oh yeah, I know what you. They have that over. That's the So he was part of that thing because there's like a huge So over in they call it the wine ghetto, Lompoc area.
Mhm.
There is this mobile bottling company that goes around and does all that. I wonder if he's part of that whole train. It's a big thing out there.
It's probably I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
But the beauty in that is he's seeing hundreds of winemakers throughout the season.
Gotcha.
And so he's getting influence from all of those different winemakers, getting little tricks of the trade.
Dope.
And so his wine is literally art in this box because he's able to take when he's doing it with the terroir and then those influences of just those various winemakers.
Mhm.
So he's trying little things
Mhm.
out.
He tried to figure out his style.
Well,
Yeah.
not just that, he's leveraging so many different styles.
I like it.
So he's able to try all kind of shit out,
Mm-hmm.
see what he likes, what he doesn't, what the people like,
From vintage to vintage. Yeah.
vintage to vintage. And he just started 4 years ago, he started a sparkling program. And so he just released his first bubbles.
If you don't know about sparkling, if you have like bubbles, like if you're trying to decide to get into the bubble game, it is very hard and it takes a lot of patience.
Takes all the patience in the world.
It takes a lot of patience, and it's like one of those things where you're not going to have for your first vintage of that until about 4 years of like already growing, bottling, and all that stuff. It takes forever. The right way, the traditional. Yeah,
If
yeah,
you're not just pumping bubbles into some wine,
yeah.
you know.
Because there's different ways of doing bubbles. Like there's prosecco as opposed to like with champagne, where there's two fermentations, one in the barrel and then one in the bottle. And so that's how you get that traditional stout, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, and if I am, please let me know in the comment section. But yeah, it's a different style by doing it in the traditional method. So on the palate though, here I'm definitely getting that kind of wild strawberry here. I'll taste a little bit more. I'm kind of curious.
Yeah. And I will say, as a beverage professional, you drink a lot. And in that, I believe that there's times where you have to give your body a break.
Yeah,
And I do a lot of meditation, a lot of
me too.
just cleansing. And so I'm actually just starting a cleanse today because I've been putting it off. So that's why
She's doing the right thing.
it is one of my favorite makers.
Yeah.
And just a solid partner of
Yeah.
ours. And so I hate that I'm missing this.
Raymond makes amazing wines.
It's beautiful.
He makes amazing wines, and the thing is, like, so she's right about the cleanse. I need to do that. I have not done it. I do meditation every single day. That's part of my daily. I wake up in the morning. I get the kid. I feed him, and then as he's watching his little show, I'll go upstairs and I get like a 5-minute or 10-minute meditation on, and then I'm ready for the day. So when you're in, not even just in life, whether you're in any kind of business, little quick segue, you have to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And especially if you're drinking wine, I hope you're drinking for taste as opposed to like drinking to get drunk. Because to me, that's not what wine is for. I'm not trying to get wine drunk here. I'm trying to enjoy the taste and the flavor profile, especially if I'm pairing it with food. And so,
No judgment on the wine.
no judgment.
It's
Do what
all
you do.
good.
Yeah.
To get wine drunk every once in a while.
Yes. Every once in a while. Yeah. You got to be responsible. Make sure you're not driving.
Oh, you better not. Don't do it.
So anyway, with that being said, I have another question for you.
Okay.
You tend to wear a lot of hats in this industry. Your fingers are in a lot of different pies in the wine industry. Prior to the wine industry, what were you doing? What was your previous life?
My previous life was in tech. And so I worked in software development, project management. Started off coding.
Oh, wow. You were a coder?
So I started coding in 1994, 95.
Ooh, that's big time. So you know all the iterations that have happened with it's changed so much.
It's gotten so much easier.
Yeah.
If I would have started my journey in tech now, opposed to then, I probably would stay programming.
Yeah.
But programming was, demanding. It was a lot harder.
It's tedious.
Back then, I mean, I literally had to write pseudocode before I even typed anything into a computer.
See, I only know a little bit of this because my best friend is a tech guy and he's also a coder. Taught himself how to code actually, and then he just got really good at it. So now he's making a lot of money doing it. But he talks this jargon to me, and over the years of listening to him, now I finally understand a little bit of it. I still don't understand the shit, but I understand a little. It's so technical.
Ones and zeros. Like when it boils down to it, it's literally ones and zeros, and how you put those together to create a machine to do what you want it to do.
Yeah.
And to make life easier, to provide ability to connect.
Yeah.
I remember in 95, I was interning at Cal. So over the summers, I was working at Cal in a computer department.
Okay.
And so 95, the internet was really just kind of like coming into its own right.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember telling people about this thing called the internet,
like
the World Wide Web, and how one day you would buy stuff in this.
And people looking at you like crazy. I know.
I'm not putting my damn credit card information.
I know. We didn't start knowing about computers until like 90, 95, 96, actually. Everybody knew about computers, but we didn't start having it in houses until around 95, 96.
That's where my story was a little unique. So the Berkeley school systems had bought computers in the late 80s for their for their students. Mm-hmm. So basically it was a computer on a cart that would roll to a different class every week or so.
It's pretty cool.
And so over the summers, they needed a space to house these computers because, these were very expensive devices.
Yeah, super complex.
And so my mom was a teacher.
Yeah.
And they asked the teachers if anyone would volunteer to keep the computers over the summers. And so the summer of my first grade year, mm-hmm. I started getting computers over the summer.
Okay.
And so I got access, like unlimited access to these machines every summer for most of my childhood. And that's when it
kind of opened up for you.
That was it. That was it. I would take it apart because you had to take it apart.
Of course.
To take it off the card and make it work.
Yeah.
And so I would take apart the floppy disks and just really learn. So like reverse engineer. And that's what got me into it. And so I just continued down that path my whole life.
Heck, okay. It's funny you say that. I kind of have a similar story. My father worked for AT&T or worked for Pacific Bell, Pac Bell back in the day. And because of that, and because they were like one of the first that had the computers, we were having computers at the house before anybody else had computers. And we didn't know what we were doing with that thing. We were seeing, I just heard, I remember that movie Hacker, or that movie Hacker.
I remember all that stuff.
So when Hackers came out, I was like, how do I figure out how to be and I had a patience for it. It wasn't for me. One thing I always hear in this industry, no matter how long you've been in the industry, if you're here long enough, the question you always get asked is, have you ever thought about making wine yourself? So I'm curious, have you ever thought about making wine yourself?
No.
No, interesting.
No.
Explain that.
In this space is to support winemakers.
I got you.
And to provide a platform. That's not to say that we won't do a wine, like a Black Vines line for something celebratory.
Yeah.
We've had several offers over the years to partner with different winemakers to put something special out. But we want it to be special. And like I said, our role in this space isn't necessarily from a wine making perspective. We're more so, how do we get these wineries made?
Yeah.
How do we get them in spaces and places? Get them placements?
Yeah.
How do we support wineries or these small businesses from a business perspective?
Yeah.
Because there's so many other aspects of the business that still have to be, those dots have to be, those I's dotted, those T's crossed. And most of these folks are very, very small business, of course. Small 1 to 5 people in the whole company making these amazing things happen. So, we'll do something special for one of
these days.
I'm a GSM kind of person.
Oh, so you're talking about Paso Robles then, probably.
Well, hook up with somebody out of Rome and see what happens. But
so that was gonna be my next question. If everything was perfect and you were gonna make wine, what would be the kind of wine that you should make? You said GSM.
Oh yeah.
So for people who don't know, GSM is Grenache, Syrah, Mourvedre blend. Paso Robles, every place is making it in California, but Paso Robles tends to be the place where a lot of Rhone varietals, which Grenache, Syrah, Mourvedre are mainly connected to. These places are places that this place is a place where a lot of this stuff is grown. So it's one of the ideal blends, period, in California and also in Southern Rhone, France. So
yeah,
so GSM.
I love the GSM or Syrah is my thing.
Syrah is actually my favorite thing too.
I love Syrah.
It's my top 3 reds.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
So explain to me a little bit about Black Vines. Tell me exactly what it took to get this started and why you did it, and actually talk to me a little bit about the future of it too.
All right. Well, it started with the desire, like I said, to bring community together.
I got you.
So one of our core values, mission, whatever it is, how do we inspire future generations? And how do we use wine as a medium to stimulate a Black economic ecosystem?
Mm-hmm.
And so we found that our ability to curate these spaces allow for very organic connections to happen.
Gotcha.
And organic business connections, or organic kind of community interactions to just take place. And so it took the will to see Black folks win.
Mm-hmm.
It took capital. So a lot of it was, not even all of it was personally funded by myself.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Black Vines was planned towards the end of Black History Month because my bonus would come the first week of March.
Smart.
I knew if things were ever too bad, I always had the funds to handle whatever.
Just in case.
Yeah,
gotcha.
In case. And so we kind of continued just sticking to the core values, but also being very flexible.
Gotcha.
Understanding that it's not about us, it's about the people that we're here to serve.
Yeah.
And so we have 3 kind of lanes of folks that we serve, 3 very different customers.
Okay.
Which yields different business models to serve each one of those clients.
Talk to me about that. What are those 3?
So we have our consumers, so the people who actually attend events. We have our sponsors, those are the folks, our partners, which we partner with we're very intentional in how we partner with folks. All money ain't good money.
I feel that.
And so
I feel that.
the folks that we have partnered with allow us to one have pretty values that align,
Yeah.
alignment with our values, and also are rooting for the underdog,
Gotcha.
and doing so with a loving kind of in the space of love. Like love is rooted in a lot of the.
That's a very town mentality, though. That's a very Oakland mentality, right? Like we don't deal with everybody. Like it is all money ain't good money is like if that was like the statement of Oakland, that would be the statement of Oakland. Like we don't play with everybody. It is if you're not along the same lines, hey, we can deal with you, but from afar. Like we can say, yo, what's up? How you doing over there? But
I mean, I love everybody. I ain't gotta like them all.
I'm with you. That's real. That's like family too. I ain't gonna get deep on that though.
Yeah. So that's like the sponsors are our second kind of tier.
Yeah.
And then our third tier are our winemakers and,
Gotcha.
and small businesses that we support.
Mhm.
And so
Thank you.
we're here to again uplift these Black winemakers, uplift Black businesses, and see us be able to sustain ourselves within our community.
Gotcha.
And so that's why we partner with Black-owned restaurants, Black-owned spaces that allow, that have Black people in leadership,
Gotcha.
and always continue to push that agenda forward of the ability to sustain ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, the ability to we spend a lot of money.
Yeah, we sure do.
We spend a lot of money, and that money, why not spend it with somebody that looks like you, who wants to see you here?
Well, we talk about that, right? They say in economics, they say that the Black dollar doesn't stay in our community that long. It immediately jumps out of our community. But you talk about other different communities, and it gets recycled and recycled and recycled and recycled, and it may never leave their community. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's important for what you're trying to do. I love what you're doing because that's to have the intentionality to be able to put it together, put something like that together, and just implement it, get it out. You definitely don't see it. And again, there is a lot of other Black wine festivals. You guys have been rocking for a minute.
Yeah. 13 years.
Woo.
13 years. And 52 Black-owned wineries under our umbrella of partners.
That's what leads me to my next question. How did you? There was no directory for this. There's no way to understand all these Black wineries that are available. Because I didn't know how. Like, I've been in the industry for close to 20 years. I didn't know even a quarter of these people until I started coming to your events. And then there was another event. I think it was the Sip and Share I used to go to all the time, and they had other Black wineries there. I didn't know nothing about these wineries until I started hanging out with you guys. And I know there was no directory for this. How did you do it? Thank you for coming in. All right, I'll be here.
Well, there is an organization, the Association of African American Vendors.
Okay.
And so AAAV was around when we got started, and we reached out to them, and they were amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing partners out the gate. And so Lou Garcia, Mac McDonald, Stephen Sterling,
Longevity.
and
Phil
now has recently taken the helm of the organization. But back then it was those folks, and they made sure that we had wine. And the first few years we were paying for all of the wine.
Yeah.
Within the festival. And at some point, we get back to that ability that, our model is the wineries wineries pay us to be a part of our larger festival.
Okay.
Throughout the year, we're finding ways to always get their money back.
Gotcha.
So that's an investment in themselves, quite honestly, because they're making that 3, 4, 5 times over. And then always knowing that we got your back.
Yeah.
From we've literally helped wineries move facilities.
Mm-hmm.
We've wax dips.
Yeah, I know you are a hands-on person. If you say you're gonna do something, you're gonna do it.
But I'm not gonna go in the vineyard and pick grapes. I'm not doing
Okay, so this is the thing we've talked about before. A lot of people who get into the industry, what they do is like the way they get into the industry is they go through harvest and they go out there and pick grapes. And this is back-breaking work. This is not fun, but it is a good way to get into the industry.
It's a great way. It is the way to go.
So I asked Fern one time, I said, so how did you get into the industry? And the first she says, I did not pick any grapes. I'm not going out there and picking no grapes. Because these people be out there at dawn and picking grapes. It's crazy.
So I love nature.
Yeah.
But I don't love bugs.
There is a lot of them out there.
And I'm not
spiders and
with no birds and motherfucking these jungles. But ain't no telling what you might run across. Be a tarantula in my hair, and I wouldn't know until I got home.
That's real though. Oh, that's real though. That's real. You can't see nothing coming, and you can't see no spider webs. You walk right into one and be done.
We done ate something. I know, so I'm not a bug person. So that's just, and that's me.
Yeah.
And you know, for
T-Cell,
I'll do some other stuff.
Yeah.
I do all kind of other stuff, but I'm not, and I'm not to say I won't ever.
Yeah.
But the chances are pretty slim that I would.
So that actually brings me to my next question. If you were trying to mentor a young person into getting into the wine industry, how would they start? What avenue would you think would work for them to get in? The easiest way to get into the industry?
Volunteer.
Volunteer, okay.
In the wine space, I'm always looking for people to help out.
Okay.
And so volunteer your time and just be open to it.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter how many books you study.
Yeah, that's true.
The reality is, until you're in it,
yeah,
and working with people whose knowledge you can just pull from,
yeah,
you're always scratching the surface. So, you know, I am a huge fan of volunteering. I still, to this day, I try to find ways to volunteer.
Yeah.
Time and energy.
I mean, that's part of giving back in this industry. Like, you know, we get into these pockets where we just like go. But you have to really sit back sometimes and be like, how can I've learned a lot. How can I give this back a little bit? You know what I mean? Yeah.
And relationships are everything.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
So you never know who's going to be doing what. When.
Yeah. I mean, you've tapped me for stuff and I'd be like, I didn't even know you had me out. I didn't even know I was on your mind about that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm telling you guys, like, I've been in the industry for a long time, but people don't look out for you all the time. You know, it just is what it is. And I've never asked for any handouts. I just kind of do what I do. Fern is one of those people who keeps people in her mind. And every once in a while, she'll hit you up and be like, I got this thing for you. Are you available? You want to do this? And it's always amazing. I'm dead serious. Like it's one of those things where it's good to have. It's like you have an ally all the time. That's why I want like partnering with you and like doing things. It's always been like a benefit to me. Like you really, I don't expect you to do it, but it's like out of nowhere you just come out and I'm like, this is the perfect timing for this. It's just like real shit. You know what I mean? Like,
it's important.
Yeah.
I mean, it's important to build community. It's important to fool with people who fool with you.
Yeah.
You know, and I've been blessed.
Yes.
I've been blessed.
I feel that.
We're still learning. We're still growing.
Yeah.
We're nowhere near where we're in.
Yeah.
You know, there's still a lot more.
Like, even though I think you're at the mountaintop, you're like, no, I got a bigger mountain that I'm trying to climb. I get it.
I want to employ people.
Yeah.
I want to allow people to learn whatever they want to learn. I want people to be able to experience whatever they want to experience in life. And if we can provide a pathway for that to happen, then that's what I'm going to do. And how do we do it in a way where I'm using my unique ability to love condition? I just love it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've been blessed with the ability to love and have been loved.
Yeah.
And so that's my purpose in this space is
reciprocate.
All with love.
I love that.
Someone's trying to fly and get him.
Appreciate that. See, gangster. She don't play. See that reflex right there? I didn't even see it. I'm trying to focus on the camera. She got me. Good looking out.
For sure.
My last question for you is talk to me about the future of Black Vines, what you can share. Because I know with people like us, we have big plans. And I've always said that sometimes you don't share your big plans until you already are in execution of the big plans because people step on it. And you don't need to step on it at the time. Sometimes you need to be in the pocket of dreaming big dreams. And so the stuff you can share, what is in the future for Black Vines?
Black Vines is going to continue to travel.
Okay.
Continue to open some doors for other spaces and places. We're going to continue to learn.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to continue to listen to spoken and unspoken needs of our community. We're going to find ways to work with small businesses to continue to expand on this community that we're building. And we're going to do some more international activation.
I love that. That's what I'm talking about. Those are the ones I want to be part of. You go to different countries, I'm with it.
Yeah, it's a good time. We did our first one last year.
Okay.
And it went amazing.
Okay. Where'd you go?
We went to Belize.
Nice. So, and there's property in Belize.
Oh,
I mean, I know you was looking when you was out there.
I know property in Belize. It's a beautiful space.
It is.
I mean, it's just it was just a space filled with love, and so we're going to continue to celebrate Black future. We're going to continue to do our part in the development, maintenance, and sustainability of a Black economic ecosystem, and continue to help others. Like, you know, we are focused on Black-owned wineries, but we work with everyone.
Yeah.
Like we cross so many different lines and spaces, and we just want to be authentically true to ourselves, move with integrity
always,
and love.
Yeah,
Like,
I like that.
That they love always.
Yeah,
there's room and space to give money and to do it.
Yeah,
in a loving way.
Yeah, in a reputable way. And yeah,
some that you can look back on and know that I wasn't dirty with.
Yeah, I feel that.
That goes back to that all money ain't good.
Yeah, I was raised like that. It's an integrity thing with us. We don't, some things we just don't accept. You know what I mean? If it's coming from a dirty hand, we're not accepting it. So I feel that.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for jumping on here with me, for real.
No, thank you for doing what you're doing. Have you told them about this thing?
So Calabash, of course. I think I told you guys about the space, but we are doing wines in here. The basis of Calabash Wine Bar is to focus on Black-owned wineries as the basis. We're going to have other stuff, of course, but that's going to always be the home. That's always going to be our basis of this wine list. And it's a really beautiful space here. We have amazing conversations, of course. We have amazing wines and amazing world-class food with Nigel running the spot. This is a crazy place. Come to Calabash, hang out with us. Yeah. And cheers to you, man. Cheers to Black Vines.
Cheers, for sure. Oh, one last thing.
Yeah.
Remember that we also are doing a rotation here.
Yes.
Where different Black makers who don't have tasting rooms have the opportunity to have a residency.
Yes.
So this becomes huge tasting room.
Yes.
For a month.
Yes.
Or however long is negotiated.
Yeah.
And Jatan here is helping to continue to build out that program and just making it amazing. So
residency is big. That's huge for a lot of these wineries.
Now,
yeah.
You have no other way to get your wine out besides going like feet to the street.
Yeah.
And your online presence. So to have a space that you can call your home for a month, where people can come in and experience you and your wine without having to pay. Yeah,
for real. And you're talking to two hustlers here. We do this. We in the street. We walking around. We selling whatever we gotta sell. How we gotta sell it. And to be able to have, if we would have had a space like this when we were coming up in this industry, forget about it, right? So we are trying to help other people. This is a space for other people, and they're not paying for this. They're coming in here. We talk about, we figure out who's going to be the winemaker of the month, and they have residency for like a month, maybe more sometimes, but they get a residency for a month, and we feature their wines. And they get to come in here and make this space theirs throughout the month. So come and check us out, man. We try to do big things over here at Calabash, and yeah, and cheers.
Cheers.
And until next time, till next time, guys.